Hey guys, Ryan Dossey, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how we found a flip that's going to net us north of $35,000 with a really small remodel. I'm going to walk you through how we worked the lead, some weird things that came up on it, how we funded both the purchase and the remodel with other people's capital, and all of the ins and outs. Let's dive right in. If you and I haven't met, my name is Ryan Dossey, and I've been in the direct-to-seller space now for over a decade. The reason that I put out content like this is my goal is to be a resource for people that were like me when I was just starting out, where I have a lot of questions, I don't know how to do things, and I don't want to waste money learning lessons folks have already learned and can teach me. So I'm going to walk you through how we funded this deal, what they said when they called in, some roadblocks we ran into along the way, as well as really just kind of some proper expectations to take to this whole real estate investing thing. So this particular deal, we ended up getting under contract for $98,000. We're going to spend about $2,000 doing some junk haul out, clean out, demo type work. And it's a relatively small remodel. It's going to be about a $10,000 scope of work. Really limited to things like carpet, paint, cosmetics, and kind of fixing some odds and ends to make the place safe, livable, and financeable. This really is kind of one of those bread and butter deals. It's not a home run. It's not super sexy, but we're going to net right around $35,000 and we're going to be in and out pretty quick. It doesn't take long to do a 10K remodel. I often tell folks on deals like this, you kind of use these base hits that keep you in the game for when the home run or the whale deal comes along. Not going to make 100K on everything, unfortunately, just is what it is. So this particular deal actually came through SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. Somebody was searching things like sell my house fast, companies who buy houses for cash, and they ended up landing on our Investor Carrot website that I'll throw up on screen for you. This was actually an Investor Carrot like concierge build, meaning I paid them to build me something that looks different from other Carrot sites. Now, this actually isn't my main website or brand or company anymore. I actually haven't marketed under this company for over a year, and this lead ended up coming in 5 months ago. So we just kind of left it out there lingering, and it is still fishing, generating an ROI for us, which is pretty freaking cool. I think my total Carrot concierge build was right at about $3,000, $2,500, somewhere around there. So I've definitely made my money's worth and then some off of that investment. Now, one thing that is a little bit unique that we do here, we have our Carrot site set up where when somebody fills out this form and clicks the offer button, we have an integration with the call center I own called Porter. It's US-based staff. All they do is take 10,000 plus calls a month for people in real estate, folks just like you and me, right? So we have this integration set up called an instant call. So somebody fills out the form, it calls our staff, reads them that information, and triggers the outbound call. The result of that, we're getting on the phone with our leads in like 30 to 45 seconds versus 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whenever you get to it, sort of a thing. So they took the initial call and they entered the notes into Resimpli. Resimpli is the CRM company that we recommend. If you're using them plus Call Porter, there's like a web form that the staff at Call Porter get. So when they take the call, they literally enter in the notes from the conversation and it goes directly into the CRM. You don't have to move anything over or anything like that. So their notes on this were as follows. So they claimed that the property was in excellent condition. You've seen some of the photos we've thrown up, like excellent means different things to different folks. They'd owned the property for 10 plus years. They needed to sell it fast. We could call anytime. The basement was unfinished. They said that it needed flooring replaced and that was it, that they lived there. It wasn't listed with a realtor and had like a detached or other garage. Now, right out the gate, if I'm prejudging my leads, they told me it was in excellent condition. I don't view this as excellent condition. They also told me that they want $135,000 when I believe that retail on this is going to be about $160K. As an investor, right, any of the quick little math rules we do there don't pencil. So a lot of folks would have said, oh, this isn't a deal. They want too much money. We don't prejudge our leads. We literally set an appointment, go out, look at the property, take all the pictures, make our offer, and follow up on that offer regardless of their asking price. So this lead initially came in back in July. We ended up getting an appointment on it pretty quick. Went out, looked at it, took all the pictures, made the guy an offer. I think we came in out the gate right at about $95,000. And the interesting thing, he actually seemed receptive to it. Despite his, well, I want 135,000, he seemed actually open to selling for near the price we were coming in at, which was great, right? Until he came back and said, hey, you know what? Actually, I think I can get more money listing this with a real estate agent. I'm going to go that route and I'm going to list it instead. Now, I'm licensed in Indiana. We also have agents we work with there. We tell folks right out the gate if it makes more sense for them to go that route or not. So we actually encouraged him, hey, that probably does make sense. We'll follow up and see if it doesn't sell, right? A lot of folks right then and there would have marked this deal as dead. Hey, this isn't going to pan out. The guy's going to go and list it on the market. He's going to get more for it. Dead deal. Let me go look at the other opportunity. What we did, though, is we kept setting tasks. We kept following up on those tasks. So my rule inside of my own CRM is that every single lead has to have either told us, I'm not interested, I'm never selling, take me off your list, right? They've opted out. Or we're going to have an open task, something reminding us to do something with that individual, or some sort of a drip sequence or automation running. Where he simply gives you the ability to trigger like automatic follow-up sequences and things of that nature. The reason we do that is we don't want anybody to fall through the cracks. This guy already came out the gate asking for too much money. He already came back and said, hey, your offer's too low. Actually, I've decided I can get more for it. I'm going to go list it with an agent, right? Several points here, somebody else would have given up on this deal. We actually ended up following up with this guy 21 times between calls, texts, and email over the course of 4 months before this deal panned out. Let me ask you something. If you've reached out to somebody 10 times, you want to call them back an 11th? If you've reached out to somebody 20 times, are you going to call them back the 21st time? What if it's been in your system for 3 or 4 months and they already told you your offer was too low and they're going to sell it to somebody else, right? That's why we have these rules. Open task, automation running until they opt out to make sure our feelings, our desire to give up doesn't cost us the deal. I recently shared a win on Instagram from one of our guys in the CCF mastermind. Stupid deal. He's got like 700K in upside on it, but it was in his system for over 800 days. That's not sexy, but it's real. So lead came in July. In August, told us he wasn't going to take our offer. He was going to list it. We continued to keep tasks running, follow up. In October, we actually ended up getting him back on the phone. We got a verbal agreement to a price of $98,000. He said, send the contract over. We sent it over. We're super excited. And then he doesn't sign. We're like, what's going on? Not only that, he stops taking phone calls. And we're like, did he sell to somebody else? Did he go on the market? What did he do? Well, instead of spiraling down any of that, we revert back to what we always do. Okay. Task to follow up, either an automation running or manual outreach, right? We continue to follow up over the course of a couple of weeks, end up getting him on the phone and find out he was unexpectedly in a motorcycle accident the day he verbally accepted our offer and had been in the hospital recovering. Do I blame the guy for not returning my calls while he's tied up in the hospital? Absolutely not, right? You don't need to communicate that to me. So fast forward to November, he gets out of the hospital. Him and his wife both signed the contract, and we are now ready to close on this property, which, as I mentioned, we're buying it for 98, putting 2K into it, 10K remodel. So minimum, it's going to cost us $110,000, not even getting into things like utilities, insurance, closing costs, all that, right? Just purchase and remodel, we're going to be at $110,000. How do we fund that? I'm going to show you exactly how we did it. So I wrote a 72-page ebook that's totally free. We'll throw a link in the comments to it if you want to snag it. It will add you to emails from me. You don't want my emails, just unsubscribe. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But we used our lending packet templates. I have 6 examples of them for you that you can literally rip and use as your own. This is actually the one that we used because it matches our branding for this guy, where we just fill in the dates, right? Logo, what we like about the property, link to pictures, why we think it'll sell, what sort of return we're offering. And we sent that out to one of the guys that's expressed interest in investing with us. He literally that day said, yep, absolutely. I'll fund it, purchase and remodel. So I'm paying 8% for the money plus a 1% origination fee. And my deal with this particular lender is I don't pay them anything monthly. It's all done on the back end. So the only costs I'm out of pocket on this are going to be holding costs, right? Utility bills, closing costs, any construction overages that come up. But the bulk of all of this is going to be carried to the back end and paid off at closing for me. So I actually have very little cash out into this deal that should very well net us $35K plus. So not only in that ebook do you get the link to those one-page pitch decks, you also get linked to a video on how I pitch private money, even things like the note and mortgage we use, both Word and Pages examples, so you can take those to an attorney so you have a running point to jump off of. We also give you like our private lender checklist of all of the things you've got to get done to make sure that they're taken care of and everything goes smoothly. So we're going to give you the documentation you need, what you need to pitch it, how to explain how to pitch it, the map so all the pieces line up. I've even got things in here for you like the mortgage calculator payoff. So if somebody lends you money when the deal goes to title for closing, they're going to say, hey, generate a payoff for us. This is the spreadsheet we use literally to do that. The fact of the matter is making $35,000 on a single deal with a really small remodel really is pretty sexy. My last year as a W-2 employee, I made $23K pre-tax, right? I could phrase this as I'm making $35,000 with none of my own money, none of my own capital, but like that's not the whole picture, right? I paid for the Carrot website. I did the SEO work. I'm paying for Call Porter. I'm paying for Resimply. Like, there is upfront cost in here. It's not super sexy to talk about. The guy told me he was going to take my offer and then told me he was going to go list it with an agent. And then he told me he was going to take my offer and then fell off the face of the earth for 3 weeks. And I thought he went with somebody else and I was spiraling in my, like, none of that is sexy at all, but it's like the reality of what the back end of this business actually looks like. I tell people all the time, like flipping the houses is sexy. Getting the deal under contract is sexy. The before and afters is a lot of fun. The profits are great. What's the least sexy part though is what we're covering in this video. The calling somebody 21 times, the following up and setting reminders 11 times, the chasing contracts, the dealing with the excitement and disappointment. But it's the reality of this business. If you guys got value out of this video, all I'm going to ask you to do is like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, my name is Ryan Dossey. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you guys next time.